Taurus, how are you? Welcome to the channel and to your reading, Taurus. We are going to connect with energies for these next few days. We are going to see what might be coming for you in the next few hours. What are the energies available for Taurus? I'm going to start this reading with the Voice of Being Oracle. I want to share a message with you, a sign from your guides, Taurus. Well, it is speaking to us about freedom. I love this card. It is a card that connects us a lot with what is obviously creativity. Number 51 is number 6 in numerology. It is bringing us what is balance in the face of what today may be the feeling of living or going through what is a limiting situation. That is why they bring you freedom. Freedom to release your limitations, to leave behind that which does not make you happy specifically, right? They're connecting you with happiness from what is freedom, freeing yourself from the weight associated with appearances, the opinion of others, fears, and so on. And from today on, understand that you must allow yourself to be you fully free, authentic, and happy. That is what they are connecting with. Perhaps it is time to rebel against some type of structures, to assert yourself, to manifest yourself in another way, right? To go and make a change, to move if that is the case. If it is within your possibilities, to change jobs. If that is what you are intending, to do an extracurricular activity that you have been wanting to do for a long time and haven't been able to do or haven't dared to do. Maybe it is time to finally pursue what you have always dreamed of, or to date someone who, in a way, felt, I don't know if forbidden is the right word, but perhaps someone in your inner circle did not like enough. It is time to embrace the freedom of choice and dare to do something different. And while in some way you hadn't gone out with that person and today life puts you in front of him or her, and well, you have that freedom of choice, right? You have to dare to do something very different. Life supports you. But it is also taking you out of the structure, even so giving you balance. It tells me that you have to make a very different move, right? I think many of you feel conditioned by the people who perhaps are surrounding you to act with this freedom. You have to understand that it is also a moment to dispose yourself to do something that you really like and take into account if you have been doing something that is already making you uncomfortable, that you no longer like to do and that you no longer want to do. Well, stop doing it and replace it. Something that does excite you, let go a little of what is the rational mind, right? And not be afraid of leaving something behind, right? Not be afraid of being happy inevitably. That is why they are connecting you with this beautiful energy, which is the energy of freedom. As you see there, that person is playing that guitar, even though apparently it is a person who shows what could be a nun's habit. It is as if she is breaking with certain structures or paradigms or life schemes and is in some way connecting Taurus with that harmony, right? Let it be what it has to be. Let him fall who has to fall. But I am getting out of these conditionings to live my life in fullness because that is what I deserve and that is what I have come for. Enough of restrictions and doing what other people expect me to do and to not have problems. Well, I do it. But already, Taurus, enough is enough. They are, well, also the situations where we have to set limits. Let us see what the angels are telling us. These are always generalized readings. If you want to have a personal reading with me, you can schedule it through the website. You always see it here. In the video, in the address, and you also have a comment pinned to your sign so that you go directly to the page. Well, you want peace and balance, evidently. That is why you have that Four of Swords there, where you were invited to rethink things a little. You have two fours, one of swords and one of cups. One connects you with thoughts, the other with emotions, and between those two situations, you have to place balance. That is why they speak to you of a moment like rest and tranquility, where you will be able to, well, be free to think and then decide based on what you are feeling and intending. Because what happens? Life is giving you an opportunity to choose conveniently something, perhaps this, that you didn't think that that opportunity was going to be presented to you and you are in doubt or you are like, in some way, this perhaps distracted because you are into other very involved in other activities that are not specifically the ones that give you freedom. You then are losing an opportunity either to fall in love again or to connect with something that really makes you feel good, free, and happy. So it is a moment like to lower all this, to lower a little what is the stress that your day-to-day is generating, the routine, the weight of what are responsibilities and so on. And they ask you, well, to take your life calmly specifically, to start to center yourself again, to connect with what you feel, with what you think, and what you want to do in a coherent way, not to get distracted. Because what happens? I feel that in this situation, you might be feeling uncomfortable or discontent, while at the same time, you're choosing to stay in that comfort zone. So, well, you are like self-absorbed in a reality of routine, of automatic pilot, And it tells you, well, look, you can continue being like this for as long as you want, but look that life puts in front of you. What are very interesting possibilities to connect with something that really moves your heart from a personal place? Because the King of Cups also speaks to us of that. Emotions that obviously are going to give you so that you can enjoy this freedom and express yourself and understand yourself better and act accordingly with what you want. Develop yourself from an artistic area, a spiritual area, a personal area that can be, well, to be present for other people, to be in a more social context if that is the case. Not to be distracted with respect to places, situations, or people that can be contributing to that freedom. But it is also speaking to us of something that has a lot of weight for you emotionally, and it comes hand in hand with a person. There is a King of Cups. The King of Cups is a person who wants to get involved with you from a good emotional place, but very, very committed. He has quite serious intentions of connecting with you. He is quite understanding, compassionate, and will be there while waiting for you to see him because you are there in the Four of Cups. So you really need to look a little bit further than just what is sitting right in front of you. You see, that specific person is actually standing quite close to where you are, or they're already in the process of arriving into your life at this very moment. That is why it catches you in this moment of reflection and in this moment that you want to make changes. It is very good because it is also a person who would be motivating you to connect with that freedom, with the freedom of choice as well, this at an emotional level. Because if it is that person whom life puts in front of you again, whom at some moment you had the possibility of living a relationship with, but due to external issues, you couldn't live it and you chose something else, I think it is a moment for you to open the possibility, open the door for that person to connect with you and see what happens, right? It can also be that they are preparing us to connect with something, a loyal love, a sincere love, a true love, someone quite in accordance with your values, but also with a good management of what is his emotional intelligence. Evidently, a King of Cups is not there to make anyone waste their time. And I think Taurus is intending that too, right? That is why he also wants a little bit of freedom to conveniently choose the things that make sense in his life. Well, here you have a Knight of Swords, you have the Devil card, and you have the Death card. These two cards are very, very strong, very powerful, and they are also together. There is something that is dying within you, a habit, a conditioning, a limitation. What could be conditioning you from others, right? What could also be conditioning you from what is your mental structure or even what you had chosen until now, which at some moment, obviously you liked. At some moment, it gave you certain benefits, it gave you certain pleasure, but no longer. Today, you are looking to move past this and feel that sense of freedom. So the Devil simply helps us a great deal to focus on what that freedom of choice could actually be for you. No, I choose this because I am aware that I want to choose this and I dare to do it. And it connects me directly with a brutal life change because I give space to the new ways, to the new forms. And if that person is in that new space, he will be received in a way where your life feels obviously also different and accompanies all this new reality. If we are talking about something that has to do with a personal issue, the same thing, right? It is your choice. And it is also this losing the fear of choosing that, losing the fear and getting yourself out of something that you said, well, okay, this is what gives me this, for example, a monthly income every month. I don't like this job, but it gives me this money. And at the same time, it doesn't make me feel good, the task that I do. It doesn't give me certain freedom, right? I cannot develop as a person as I would like, but I chose it. And you are in some way making revisions with respect to that. You have a Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is a card that speaks to us of advancement. It speaks to us of what is the speed with which certain things can happen. It also comes from a place of, well, thinking, right? Because when your ideas are a bit jumbled, mixed up, or not very clear, the Knight of Swords is the card that tells us that things are finally becoming clear. Furthermore, you are paying close attention to all of this and acting on it accordingly and quickly. It is all about gaining clarity and moving forward with real speed and focus. It is as if you react suddenly and you no longer want to waste more time because the Knight of Swords impels you to do it, right? So you accompany this energy of freedom to also relate differently with this person, to talk. I mean, there is a willingness to meet, to communicate, to speak, and also to receive very convenient news that is freeing you from certain commitments that you no longer want to sustain at this moment. That is to say, or situations of limitation. Because it may also be that what the Knight of Swords brings is news or situations that are resolved and unlock issues that until today, in some way, had you this gripped or held, right? It could be an economic issue. It could be a relational issue. It could be a personal issue. I mean, you are releasing that chain, right? You are releasing that because something is happening here, and it makes it possible for you to be able to free yourself absolutely from all that restriction. Because in this moment, it does not cease to be a situation that also implies a certain blockage or restriction for you. Because ultimately, and in summary, it does not let you choose in freedom. So imagine that you have the death card after having gone through this process of conditioning, because ultimately it is and of stagnation. The card of great changes appears. So as I mentioned at the beginning, you see and feel the new reasons your own life is offering you to regain that freedom. And you also see the new ways to achieve all of this, don't you? Because in front of your eyes, everything changes, and you realize that it is the right moment to choose that person. It is the right moment to choose that matter that connects you a lot with something that gives you a lot of freedom from a creative character, a work situation, or a personal situation. Because furthermore, the energy also accompanies you with a lot of security. Because the Knight of Swords gives you clear and creative ideas to launch yourself into manifesting something that gives you freedom. So it is your values and your firm convictions that truly define your direction toward that specific goal. I have absolutely no doubt that you, sitting right here in this moment, are walking away with far more profound benefits than you could have ever possibly imagined. You are gaining so much more clarity and wisdom than you ever anticipated, and this realization will serve as the guiding force that helps you move forward with genuine confidence and great purpose. Even more if we are facing what is a situation that comes hand in hand with someone who is recognizing emotions. And also Taurus, here an emotional situation is being recognized that balances you and that frees you, that strengthens you, and that has the capacity to support you. It says you also do to that person because a bond with a lot of stability is created and it is directed to building something. There is no doubt. And something that will also make you free, right? It does not mean that by being in a relationship you lose your freedom and you lose your autonomy. No, quite the opposite. That is when we see that it is a true relationship. Well, here Archangel Michael is telling you that you are always under his light, safe and sound. So there is no need to fear. There is no need to fear. One should not expect the worst, but rather the best of all this. Because one way or another, that freedom arrives. Let us trust and decree so that all of this happens.